This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
And it is Thursday, June 12th. You want to feel old? It is the 31st anniversary of the day OJ Simpson tried to cut his ex-wife's head off and murdered her friend Ron Goldman 31 years ago today. It could be the greatest injustice in American history. He got away with it. He was acquitted on the murder charge because, those racist LA cops, so they let a murderer walk free. He lost the civil trial, and I don't think he ever paid his bill, went to his grave without ever really facing this. It's a shame. If you weren't around, if you're too young, it was the biggest story in the country for, I don't know, a year. It was just a wild time in America. In that same city, we're seeing another great injustice as innocent people, innocent store owners, residents, just people trying to live their lives. Their lives have been disrupted by marauding bands of barbarians and feral animals who are tearing up LA. Last night was a quiet night. That doesn't make the whole scene any better. It doesn't make the people whose stores were looted, whose were burned, doesn't make them feel any better. But it has settled down. But I'm here to warn you, not for long. There were riots in New York yesterday, and they are going to spread. There is a big operation planned for Saturday in 2 days, June 14th, Flag Day, Trump's birthday, and a great celebration across this country for the 250th anniversary, and they will be disrupting it. Here's the map on the screen of all the protests planned around the country. And no kings, they're calling it, no kings, like Trump's a king. That's just an absurd premise, but look at that. Tell me we're not heading for trouble. ICE is continuing their operations, deporting illegal aliens, and the resistance will be strong on Saturday, and it will get ugly. I mean, it'd be easier to make up places that will not have protests, and we're going to learn more about the people behind the scenes funding this civil unrest. There was a really interesting. Give me that TikToker. We got a guy explaining how it works, how much they're paying these punks, these thugs, these criminals, these rioters, these insurrectionists. He flat out says $200 a day to protest. That's what Alex Soros and various NGOs who are taking tax money, your money, and funding this operation across the country. Check this out.
I just got offered $200 a day to go protest ICE in New York. The organization was called No Kings. They said June 14th be protesting, and these are the streets that you need to be on, and this is what you need to do. You need to cause chaotic disruptions, and they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different everywhere that protesters could use. They really want to wreak havoc. It's kind of ridiculous. Me as an American, although I need the money, I'm like, this is very, very unpatriotic. If I was to go take this money and go protest, it's not very American. It's not what I stand for. It's obviously not even, worth the time. But, $200 a day is what they're paying people to go protest. The corruption is up here because it goes way beyond these organizations. They want to destroy America.
Yes.
And, people like me that need money are gonna go do it. I'm not gonna go do it, but people are gonna go do it. They're gonna go destroy, the city and cause chaos. It's just crazy that, they're even paying people to go do this. Just to show that everything we deal with is corruption.
All right, $200. Take the money, guy. Take the money and walk away and go home. Can't you do that? Take the money and stand there. Don't burn anything. Don't cops.
Take the money and film what other people are doing.
That's true. Just take the money. It has to be cash. They can't leave a paper trail, right? They're going to hand you $200 cash. Think they'll do that in Boston? Would they give me $200? Then I could just walk home, then maybe come back, get another $200. It is amazing. And there's an investigation. Josh Hawley said they're kicking off an investigation into who is funding this. We would love to know, but here's what I can promise you. The money they're giving the protesters is from you. It's coming from American taxpayers through these various Democrat-controlled schemes and scams and NGOs and other organizations in the DC area. They're taking money from you, giving it to people like that to go burn and loot and set fires and assault cops. And here's why no one has died yet. No one has been murdered. No cops, no protesters. And that's the thing. I don't want to see anybody die. But when I watch this, I say, there's an upside. There's an upside to the uprising. And what it is it is illuminating this for the whole country to see. And it is creating an even greater divide. The Democrats support this. The Democrats encourage this. They want this. They want this, and then they want to blame it on Trump. And so far, it is failing miserably. I think most of the guys watching this, and they're on the side, obviously, of law enforcement, on the side of Trump. They want this. We voted for this. Trump campaigned for 2 years. 2 years. And you know what he said on virtually every campaign stop, at virtually every rally, debates, you name it. Every day, Donald Trump said, we are going to begin the biggest mass deportation operation in American history. We are going to get illegals. He didn't specify and said they got to be rapists or murderers or drug dealers. He said illegal aliens out. And obviously that upset the media, the Democrats. They don't want that for a number of reasons. First of all, they thought they were counting on these votes, that if they could eventually make these illegals that were flown into the country by Joe Biden, that were allowed to walk into the country by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Alejandro Mayorkas, they could eventually get them citizenship and get them to vote. Hell, they didn't have to be citizens. In some places, they could vote. Not only that, they want to increase their power. This is about power. In the census, they don't just count citizens, they count residents. Illegal aliens count in the census, and that leads to seats in the House, that leads to electoral college votes. Elon Musk estimated that because of the illegal alien population in blue states, it accounts for 20 more votes, 20 more seats for Democrats. Senator Bill Hagerty, Republican senator, estimated 13 seats. 13 seats in the House for Democrats and more electoral college votes. So that is one of the keys. This is about power for Democrats. They are just ruthless in this regard. They don't care if it decimates neighborhoods. They don't care if it drags down wages. Doesn't matter to them. They want the power. They want the seats. They want the votes. And so they will do whatever it takes to stop Trump. Here's the latest campaign, and I am enjoying it because I think, once again, we are on the winning side. They are on the losing side. They have come up with a new strategy. It's about hardworking immigrants who just want to put food on the table, who came here and to chase the American dream, and they're going to attempt to appeal to the emotions. That's what Democrats do. Appeal to the emotions of Americans and citizens, and get them to empathize with hardworking immigrants who do those jobs that no one wants to do. They're the roofers. They're the farm workers. They're there to wipe our asses, as a Democrat congresswoman from Vermont said, if they deport everybody, who's going to wipe our asses? I assume she's talking about people who work in hospitals or nursing homes, but it was a pretty crude way to look at it. But that's what they want you to do. This is a story in Axios today. Give me the headline of the story in Axios, because this is the new strategy. Get ready. They want you to think that the American people, the people who voted for Donald Trump, the people who know what Trump promised, a mass deportation, all illegal aliens out. That's just cruel, according to Democrats. You can't kick out, you can't deport families. You can't do hardworking people who are just out there working on farms and in factories. Well, here's the headline for the Axios story, and it is exactly what you'd expect. Undoubtedly stands on strong political ground in deporting convicted criminals. Now comes a new test. How comfortable are Americans deporting millions of illegal immigrants who paid taxes, built families, and committed no crimes after coming here illegally? That's their question, and this is my answer. Very comfortable, completely comfortable, totally comfortable as a little baby nestled in his arms, as comfortable as Ironhead on his lazy boy on a Sunday afternoon. They want to shame you because there's some illegal aliens who are here and they're working. Well, that doesn't matter. They got to go. That's the promise Trump made to his voters. That's why he got 77 million votes. That's what people voted for, getting them the hell out. He said he's going to start with the worst of the worst, and they have. They are trying to track down convicted criminals, people who've already been ordered deported. They start there, and it has already set off riots. It already led Democrats like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass to show their true colors. They don't even want to get rid of the criminals. They don't even want murderers, rapists, stealers. They don't even want them deported because they count in the census, because they may eventually get citizenship and the right to vote for them. Right now in D.C., there's a hearing. House Oversight is grilling 3 blue state governors, sanctuary city governors. It is Tim Walz. I can't wait. Kathy Hochul and J.B. Pritzker. I'm not sure why Governor Healy wasn't included on this list, but this is going to be good. Every time we get people like this under oath, people like this facing real questions, they reveal themselves. They don't care about poor immigrant families. They don't really think this is cruel. You think it's cruel to deport somebody who's preying on American citizens? You think it's cruel to get drug dealers, gangbangers out of a working class neighborhood? That's cruel? Okay, you run with that. This is once again a great divide. This is where we get to see people like this. We get to see the cynicism. We get to see the real face of this effort to flood our neighborhoods with illegal aliens, to change the demographics of this country. And I think the House Oversight Committee is going to do a good job. We're going to have some moments here in D.C. shortly where these people who've allowed criminals to just pour into their states because they provided them sanctuary. That's what sanctuary cities, sanctuary states do. They provide sanctuary for criminals, for gang members. And the American public has watched this. They watched the campaign, they watched the election, and they are thrilled right now. It is killing Democrats in the media, but the public loves it. I got a few polls here. I know we had one yesterday. We had little wacky Harry Enton with his polls yesterday, but there's a bunch of other polls, and they all support Trump's effort in LA, Trump's effort around the country to deport illegal aliens. Once again, Democrats are on the losing side of an issue. Once again, the media is howling at the moon to get you to feel sympathy, to view this as cruelty, what you're seeing in LA, and the public isn't buying it. We have citizen journalists, we have people with we have people with YouTube channels who are videotaping it, who are talking to people, who are showing you what's really going on. And it is killing the media right now. They won't tell you that the public is on board with this. They won't tell you that it is exactly what we voted for. We are comfortable with this, Axios. Sorry, we're really comfortable with this. This is the number one reason Donald Trump was elected. Number one reason, to get people like we've seen tearing up LA, to get them the hell out of our country, to get people who wave the Mexican flag and demand that they not be sent back to Mexico. We want to send them back to Mexico. Just to show you just how just how dishonest, just how duplicitous Democrats are. Give me that Bernie clip. There used to be Democrats who were against illegal immigration. Democrat presidents like Bill Clinton, candidates like Hillary Clinton were against illegal immigration. They used the term, Chuck Schumer used the term illegal alien. A younger Joe Biden, before he became a puppet, a dementia-riddled puppet, was against illegal immigration. Even Bernie, the far left radical commie Bernie Sanders, who is now all on board with open borders, who will tell you how cruel Trump is and how we can't deport these poor people. This is 10 years ago. I know immigration drove down wages and cost Americans jobs. That used to be the Democrat position. That's how cynical they are. They flipped on this important issue, illegal immigration, which hurt Americans, which hurt American workers, working class people. They flipped, and then now they're taking the side of illegal aliens and companies that hire them for cheap wages. They did this just for power, just for votes. Here's Bernie, 2015, just 10 years ago.
Open borders. That's a Koch brothers proposal. The idea, of course, I mean, that's a right-wing proposal which says essentially there is no United States.
But it would make a lot of global poor richer, wouldn't it?
And it'd make everybody in America poor. Then you're doing away with the concept of a nation state. And I don't think there's any country in the world which believes in that. If you believe in a nation state, or in a country called the United States or UK or Denmark or any other country, you have an obligation, in my view, to do everything we can to help poor people. What right-wing people in this country would love is an open border policy. Bring in all kinds of people who work for $2 or $3 an hour. That would be great for them. I don't believe in that. I think we have to raise wages in this country. I think we have to do everything that we can to create the millions of jobs. You know what youth unemployment in the United States of America today? If you're white, a white kid, high school graduate, 33%, a Hispanic, 36%, African-American, 51%. You think we should open the borders and bring in a lot of low-wage workers? Or do you think maybe we should try to get jobs for those kids? So I think from a moral responsibility, we've got to work with the rest of the industrialized world to address the problems of international poverty. But you don't do that by making people in this country even poorer.
Wow. Same guy now says open the border. Same guy now tells you Trump's an authoritarian, a dictator for trying to remove illegal aliens and bring up wages, trying to create jobs for Americans. Here's the thing they won't tell you. This is a battle for the working class. This is why Trump won working class voters. This is why he's flipped the whole thing upside down. They used to be the party of the working class. Now they are the party of illegal aliens. It is their top priority. I'm not exaggerating. If you listen to Democrat congressmen and senators, if you listen to Liz Warren, Ed Markey, Chuck Schumer, AOC, and Ayanna Pressley, their top priority is protecting illegal aliens. They used to all think like Bernie. They used to think illegal aliens drive down wages, cost young Americans jobs, because that's what they do. It's just a fact of economics. You bring in 20 million illegal aliens, of course they're going to take up housing. They're going to drive down wages. They're going to cost Americans jobs. And Trump's trying to fix that. And that's why the working class supports Trump. That's why they have abandoned the Democrat Party. We can see it. We can hear it. We have videos. We have receipts. They all used to sound like Trump sounds like now. That's what Bill Clinton sounded like. That's what Chuck Schumer sounded like. Close the border, kick out the illegal aliens, deport them. Hell, just whatever it was, 10 years ago, Barack Obama was called the deporter in chief. He deported like 3.5 million people, and district court judges didn't try to stop him. The Democrats didn't kick and scream. They knew we needed a border. And then one day, they just decided, let's open the border and bring in future Democrat voters. Let's open the border and hold on to our power in the Congress. That's what they did. And that is just so cynical. It's just so un-American when you think about it. Let's not have borders. Let's be the only country in the world with no borders. That's the Democrat position. And I think what you're seeing happening right across the country, what you're going to see Saturday is, again, you're going to see this clear picture, this split screen. You're going to have this patriotic parade in D.C., and you're going to have riots and violence and arson and looting in all these jurisdictions. There it is again. Get ready on Saturday. You know what you're going to see? Lots more videos which show you, which prove to you who's leading this, who's driving this, who's doing this, and who's against it. Who wants law and order? Who wants mass deportations? Most of us. That's who. I want to play a couple of videos because I can't get enough of this. Get the scene in Nebraska. This is the ICE going after illegal aliens, probably convicted criminals. We don't know. But again, they started with the worst of the worst. They're picking up an illegal alien. They're in an SUV. They're leaving I don't know what, a work site perhaps. They're trying to leave with the illegal aliens. And other aliens, I assume legal, jump on the SUV. They jump on the hood to stop the agents from taking away the criminal. Every Democrat tells you that Trump is instilling fear in the immigrant communities, legal or illegal, instilling fear. Let me ask you, do they look fearful? I know we've gone over this before, but do these people look afraid of ICE? They're jumping on the friggin' SUV. My other question is, do you think you're going to stop them? Do you think these guys, these ICE agents, are just going to let him go because you jump on an SUV? There's going to be some serious injuries, maybe death, because these people are not fearful. They are brazen. Watch this punk. I assume, again, he knows they're not looking for him. He rips off the rear wiper. He tries to rip it off of the vehicle as they're trying to leave with the illegal alien in custody. Just right in front of the ICE agent, rips the wiper off and then walks away, and the guy gives him a good shove, but he doesn't arrest him. They're not fearful. These people are entitled. They think they can come here, take jobs, take benefits, take their free hotel room and free food and phone and legal services. They don't get, does that punk look fearful of ICE? I wanted him to chase him down and take him down, but he didn't, because they weren't looking for him. They were looking for someone else. But that's the attitude they have. How dare you pick up a convicted criminal illegal alien? This is our country, you punk. That's the rules. Those are the rules. They eventually do make their way out. They don't run anyone over. That's going to happen. But here's the other video, which is even better, which has gone viral. I believe this is in New York, and this is just remarkable. This is what's happening. When you see these riots, when you see these protests, you see a lot of African Americans. I don't. You see, obviously, Hispanics, like those punks, and you see lots of awfuls, affluent white female liberals, and their beta male boyfriends out there protesting. And they're protesting on Mondays and Tuesdays because they're not working. Here's a video where the African American woman just begs for them to get out of the road so she can get to work. She's just there to go to work. Watch the reaction from Man Bun here. This is again a typical protester who just hates Trump, hates anything and everything Trump does. So he's blocking traffic in New York to support illegal immigration. And the poor black woman is like, can I just go to work? Watch this. Look at his face.
Look at this. That's what happens to my kid. I can't help it. But you can if you could just move out the way. You're not going to. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing here? No, it's not. Why do you feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work? Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
So you're stopping a black woman from going to work, and Man Bun says, "Oh no, not work." like that's not important. We're busy out here fighting for illegal aliens. I don't care that you have to go to work. I'm not going to work. I don't work. Why do you work? That's perfect. That is the worst nightmare of Democrats in the mainstream media right there. That's them. That's their guy. That's their side right there. Man Bun with his backpack on, blocking traffic in New York, stopping people, working class people from going to work. That guy, I hope they find him. I hope he's there Saturday. I hope he's becomes the face of the resistance, because that is just perfect. All right, we got so much more to get to. It's just there's just never ending examples like that. Again, the media, mainstream media, they don't matter. They don't. The people covering this, the people showing you what's really happening, are just people with cell phones, people with social media accounts, people with YouTube channels saying, here's what's really going on. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't see a fire. We wouldn't see looting. We wouldn't see Mexican flags if it were up to the mainstream media. But that's another reason people are so supportive of this effort, because they know what's really going on. They know these paid agitators and these punks like Man Bun there. They're not fighting for America. They're not fighting for them. Bernie Sanders, he doesn't care about driving down wages anymore. That's the old Bernie. The new Bernie, he's all for open borders. And it's just so revealing. All right, we got to get to Ron DeSantis, the greatest governor in the country, has some advice for the next person who's blocked on their way to work. And I love this. And we got to get to Caroline Leavitt, too. She is so good at this. She just slapped down the media. It was beautiful. And Tim Walz has just been sworn in. He's testifying in front of the Oversight Committee, and we're going to turn some of that around if it gets good. We'll get to that and more, but first.
Excuse me.
If you've ever searched for your name or address on Google, it's shocking to find how many results have your personal information, and it's not by chance. Data brokers and people search sites, collect your personal information, your name, address, phone number, financial info, income, and hundreds of other records. They sell it and share it publicly without your consent. But Incogni is here to put an end to that. It hunts down these unethical sites and gets your info removed from the places that expose your private information. You don't have to email anyone, fill out forms, or jump through hoops. They handle the entire process for you. Incogni is also continually monitoring if your data is put back into these databases, requesting repeated removals. This way, it keeps them off there forever. So you get fewer spam calls, spam emails, and you get more peace of mind. And best of all, you can cancel anytime, and they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can get it completely risk-free. Right now, you get 60% off an annual plan by going to incogni.com and use code word Callahan. That's incogni, incogni.com/Callahan, and use the code word Callahan at checkout. You get 60% off and protect your data for an entire year. Here's the two polls I was telling you about this week. Insider Advantage. Do you support Trump's deportation effort? 59-39. Napolitan News poll, 58-36. It is another winning issue for Trump, for the Republicans, and a losing issue for Democrats. And it gets worse for them every time we see what's really happening on the streets. One more video, and it is just, I've watched this about 10 times. This is a punk in California. He takes his water bottle, it's a can. It's probably a, Celsius or Red Bull, fires it at a cop. Just watch this, just throws it right at the cop's face. Yeah, this is an immigrant living in fear. And some beautiful vigilante just takes him down. Let me just say, I coached youth football for years, and this is a hard thing to teach. Form tackling. This is the greatest form tackle I think I've ever seen. Perfect. Head to the side, wraps up, gets low, drives him to the ground. He's smaller, too, than this punk. He gets shot, by the way, with the rubber bullet at the same time, and he gets broke. I mean, that is the brazenness of these people. What did you think was going to happen, punk? Look at him. He's got his pants down under his ass, and this kid just takes him down. That is beautiful. We need more of that. That's just someone helping out the cops. Yes, sir. We're just here to help. Boom. That is perfect. Oh, what I would give to have 11 defenders who could hit like that, who could tackle like that. That kid was well coached right there. I'm telling you, it's flawless. He wraps the arms, turns the head, drives him to the ground. That is just a perfect tackle. But all right, before we get to DeSantis and his solution for those punks that are blocking traffic, by the way, every time I see those videos of him blocking traffic, and get ready, there is going to be a lot of that on Saturday. Isn't it illegal? I mean, I don't have the exact, law, U.S. code, but blocking traffic, last I checked, was against the law. Why don't you get arrested the moment you lay down and sit down in traffic? Why is that not, boom, immediate arrest? That should be all it takes, blocking traffic. Traffic's bad enough. We don't need these punks out there supporting, illegal aliens blocking traffic. So arrest them all. I don't care if you're a local cop or your National Guard or your ICE. Just break out the zip ties and take them and throw them in the wagon. Once they block traffic, it's over. Arrest them. They have to do that. They have to start doing that. I'm so sick of this. It began, years ago. They did it for the climate. They did it for Hamas. They're doing it again. They're blocking traffic because, again, they don't care about people going to work. They don't even know what work is. They don't care if people are going to the hospital. It means nothing. They're going to do it all over the country on Saturday. We got to do something about it. And Ron DeSantis has a solution. And boy, did this drive the media nuts. They hate DeSantis. They hate DeSantis as much as they hate Trump. You know why? Because he's effective. Because what he's done, he's turned Florida into a deep red state. People love it. They have great pride. People who live in Florida, they love this man. I think Trump has managed to put a lot of grudges, a lot of feuds behind him. Hopefully he puts the Elon Musk feud behind him. I mean, he has little Marco in his cabinet. He has Ted Cruz. Lion Ted is one of his staunchest supporters in the Senate. He gets over things. He's transactional. He's got to get over his feud with DeSantis because DeSantis is done as governor. He's going to be a free agent. He belongs in the cabinet. I don't know which cabinet. Maybe Pam Bondi will have enough. Maybe she'll burn out. But if she does, this is the man. He belongs. He can't just go into the private sector when his term is up. He needs to be in Washington because he is exactly what we need. Here he is explaining what you can do if they block you from driving down the street. Go ahead.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
Yeah. It's so good. You have a right to defend yourself by driving over them. See that iron head? You're planning to whip out your sidearm. If they block you on Saturday, you don't have to use the gun. Just use the car. Run them down.
Then you got to call insurance companies and all that stuff.
But if it happens to one person, I think this whole thing, this idea that they can block traffic just by sitting on the road, I think it ends as soon as one person gets run over, and it's going to happen. It'll probably happen Saturday. All right, let's get to Caroline Leavitt, your fellow New Hampshireite. She's so good at this. I'll say it again. I didn't think she'd be so great. She's so young. She's so inexperienced. She's 27 years old. She is the best. Today, I pick a different member of the Trump team every day who's my favorite. Today, it's Caroline Leavitt because she faces the jackals in the media. She knows they hate her. They hate Trump. She knows they want to pin her down, embarrass her. They keep waiting for that KJP moment where she's unprepared, and it never happens. She's so well prepared. She doesn't need a binder. She doesn't need notes. She just goes head to head with these fake news frauds every day. This is the dumbest question a press secretary has ever been asked. Here's Caroline Leavitt being asked if the only reason Trump sent the National Guard to LA to protect ICE was to distract. This is a real question. Find out who asked this question. I forgot to look that up. I want to know. This is a real question from a journalist. Did Trump send troops just to distract from his feud with Elon Musk? She answers it, but she really should have just said, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Here it is.
Just everything sort of we've seen so far with the president's response to the LA protests, there is criticism that seems to suggest that the president responded the way he did because it was a deliberate, calculated attempt to sort of shift focus away from his feud with Musk. How would you respond to that?
The president responded to the LA riots, condemning the violence
from Musk.
That's an incredibly disingenuous attack. The president saw images of Border Patrol and ICE agents being hailed with rocks and Molotov cocktails. He saw vehicles being burned to the ground with illegal aliens flying foreign flags. And that's what prompted the president to have this response that has clearly worked, because last night in Los Angeles, you didn't see many of those images. And I would add the governor and the mayor need to actually do more. I know Gavin Newsom had a big address to the nation last night. I guess he thought that's what it was for maybe his future political ambitions. But he spoke a lot of words. We haven't seen action. California has been a mess for years because of the incompetence of Gavin Newsom. So the president was responding to that only.
Oh, my God. Did he send troops to distract? You know what? Trump, again, handled the Musk thing beautifully. He shocked me. He didn't get dirty. He didn't hit him below the belt. He didn't mention drugs. He got through it. It's over. Musk apologized. We're moving on. And the media can't stand it. They thought they had him. They thought they had a scandal. Musk versus Trump. Oh, my God. This is going to bring them down. And it didn't happen. And they're so pissed. But she's so right. This is going to ruin Gavin Newsom's hopes of returning to getting to the White House. And it certainly has shown the world what buffoons, what incompetent clowns we have running things in L.A. L.A. Mayor Karen Bass, who was better off in Africa during the last crisis. She was better off hiding in Ghana during the Palisades fire. She's on the scene now. And she is just remarkably incompetent. I can't imagine being, again, those store owners whose stores were looted, or the people whose neighborhoods were terrorized, and you got this commie clown running things. Here she is blaming Trump, Donald Trump, for people looting the Apple store and the Adidas store and the sushi restaurant. I don't know what the follow-up was, but wouldn't you want to say, can you explain that? How people looting a store is the fault of the man who sent the National Guard to protect ICE and protect federal buildings? How does that work, lady? Listen to this.
A week ago, everything was peaceful in the city of Los Angeles and in all of the representatives behind me in their cities as well. Things began to be difficult on Friday when raids took place. And it's important that I begin there, because that is the cause of the problems that have happened in the city of Los Angeles and other cities. This was provoked by the White House. The reason why, we don't know.
It was provoked by the White House. Can we go over this again? Trump sent National Guard troops, which is his right, to protect ICE, protect federal buildings. That's provocative. That's like saying, if you robbed your next door neighbor and the cops showed up, they provoked you. Or, I robbed a bank and they arrested me. The cops were provocative. They pulled me over. I was going 100 miles an hour. Oh, how are you? You're provoking me. It's provocative to enforce the law. It's provocative to protect federal buildings and federal ICE agents. That's provocative. We need more provocation then. If that's provocative, you need more provocation, lady, because we watched them loot the stores. We watched them set the fires. You know what? We need more provocation from federal officials. It is scary. I can't imagine being a law-abiding Californian and listening to that. And you know what? I think we need a new test. Anytime you get your store looted or your house or your car burned, I need to know, did you vote for that woman? I need to know before I waste any sympathy on you. Did you vote for her? Did you vote for Gavin Newsom? It's like in the Palisades and Malibu, and as their homes are burning. Did you vote for the people who allowed that to happen? I need to know. And will you vote for them again? Because they're the problem. They're the reason you're going through this, and they don't seem to understand that. I want to get to these are scenes from New York last night. By the way, LA was quiet. New York, not so much. Look at that. They burned, I think it was 9 police cruisers, set them on fire. Somehow they got close enough to 9 police cars to set them ablaze. And I think New York, even though it's run by a bunch of blue state lunatics, also blue city, I think these people are messing with the wrong police department in New York. I don't think it's quite like LA, but we will see, because New York's going to be on fire on Saturday. Again, it's going to happen all over the country on Saturday. Get ready. I want to get to this ABC headline, because this again, this shows you just how out of touch the media is, just how badly they calculate public sentiment in this country. This is a real headline from ABC about Trump sending troops to LA. Check this out. I don't even know what to say anymore. Here's ABC News, their headline. There are more U.S. troops in LA than Iraq or Syria. That's the headline in the lead. Again, there are more U.S. troops deployed to LA than in Iraq or Syria. There are 4,800 activated Guard and Marine personnel in LA compared to just 2,500 in Iraq and 1,500 in Syria. Are they posing that as a bad thing? Do they think the American public is going to look at that and say, oh, that's awful? Do they want more troops in Syria or fewer troops in LA? I see that and I say, good. That's one of the greatest developments I've seen. We only have 1,500 troops in Syria and 2,500 in Iraq. I want that to be 0. I don't want troops in Iraq or Syria. I don't want this president to do what so many other presidents did, get us in these unnecessary skirmishes, wars in the Middle East. I want them in LA trying to bring law and order to a lawless city. I don't want them in Syria. You think that's a minority position in this country? That's what we want. That's what we voted for. They don't seem to understand that. We are 132 days in, and they don't seem to understand that this is what we voted for. Trump, I don't think, has done anything in his first 4 months that he didn't promise to do, that he didn't explicitly say, here's what we're going to do. And then he got into office and he did it. They expected him to be like, I don't know, other squishy Republicans, like like Mitt Romney or John McCain or George Bush, and not really do what he said he was going to do, not really follow through on campaign promises. It's driving them nuts. Trump is doing what he said he was going to do over and over again. He said, we are going to start the biggest deportation operation in American history. And that's what he did. And some of the people being deported have jobs. Some of them have families. Some of them are nice people, but they're here illegally. They can do what has been proposed. They can go to that app. They can get $1,000. They can get a plane ticket home and apply to come in legally. If you don't like that, too bad. It's what he promised to do. And if some roofing company or farm ranch doesn't have enough help, they can hire Americans. They can pay a higher wage. They can hire legal immigrants. That's the solution. We can't look at what they've done, what Joe Biden did, and say, you know what? We can't really fix the problem. We can, clean it up on the edges, but we can't really fix the problem. Yes, we can. We will. We are. And it's driving these people insane. And I don't know when, if the media will understand, but Trump's not backing down. I don't see a moment where Trump's going to say, you know what? Those people have been here for a long time. They can stay. That doesn't matter. He promised to remove illegal aliens, and he's doing it, and they're fighting him every step of the way. And every day, I think, his approval ratings go up. It's pretty high right now. It's over 50%. 59% support this effort of Americans. So once again, a overwhelmingly popular issue. He's on the right side. They're on the wrong side. And you know what's going to happen Saturday? It's going to get nasty. And in D.C., they're going to be celebrating the military, and the media is going to bitch about the cost. Oh, it costs so much to put on this crazy parade. And they're going to ignore it. They're going to lie about the protests. And I can't wait. I think it's, once again, going to show the contrast, the distinction between the two sides. And Trump, as usual, is on the right side. All right. Did I miss anything? What else we got?
I got a clip from...
Oh, we got a clip. Excellent. This is Jamie Comer, head of the Oversight Committee, chairman of the Oversight Committee. Is Tampon on the hot seat?
It seems to be. I haven't listened to this yet, but this is talking about him not condemning...
Grilling Tim Walz, J.B. Pritzker, and Kathy Hochul. And man, I'm looking forward to this. I look at this and I say, how is Tim Walz a governor? I mean, honestly, he's the biggest joke in the country. Tim Walz is going to run for president, and I encourage that. He is such a clown. Here's Comer questioning Tim Walz, sanctuary state governor. Go ahead.
A portion of today's testimony. I'm going to begin with Governor Walz. Governor Walz, I thought that maybe your statement referencing ICE as Gestapo was an outlier statement, but now that Mr. Lynch has endorsed it, it appears that it could be some type of Democrat talking point. Governor, do you and other Democrat politicians understand why referencing ICE as Gestapo is offensive? I'm going to explain. The Department of Homeland Security is reporting that ICE agents are now experiencing a 413% rise in assaults. We see numerous videos of rioters obstructing and assaulting federal law enforcement after your remarks, including in Los Angeles. So, Governor, do you think that comments like that and rhetoric like that put ICE officers and other law enforcement in greater danger?
Well, thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. First and foremost, any attack on law enforcement is unacceptable, wherever it's at, whether it's state, local.
So you understand, and I've got limited time here. I want to highlight for the governors that real-world impact of the policies that you all continue to defend, even in your opening statements, have on American families. Earlier this year in Governor Pritzker's Illinois,
I guess he's refusing to condemn everything.
Oh, this is good, though. They're putting up pictures of victims of illegal alien crime. That's what I want to see. I love it when Caroline Leavitt does it. Do it. Keep going. Keep going. Just tell me why you didn't bring Maura Healey in there. I want to see Maura Healey get the grilling that she deserves. But all right, we'll check that out. We'll have that tomorrow, the highlights of this hearing, and see how Tampon Tim does on the hot seat. I'm going to guess there's going to be a few moments where that, honestly, can't even answer the question. You called them Gestapo. You compared ICE agents arresting Hardened
Gazpacho. You get it right.
Good point. You called them gazpacho. Tampon Tim. You can't even say the word. It is really despicable when you think about it. These guys, we've seen them. They're under the fire. They're getting things thrown at them. They went to their hotel. They found out where the ICE guys were staying in L.A., and they stood outside the parking garage to attack them when they came in and out. Guys who were just there to make their neighborhoods safer. All right, before we go, there was a lot of anticipation about Trump and Melania and JD and the second lady going to the Kennedy Center. They went to see Les Mis last night. There were a bunch of drag queens there for some reason. And there were people that, had T-shirts that said whatever, stop deport. There was, there were a few rabble rousers there. I don't even know why Trump did this. Les Mis is awful. It is torture. I went to see it. I got tickets because my wife wanted to see it before she was my wife. So, I was trying to impress her. It was the longest night of my life. This show never ends. They play the same song over and over again. Here's what I remember. It was like 4 hours long, maybe 3 hours. And I walked out of the theater, and there were like these bushes outside the door, side door of one big theater in Boston. And I vomited. That's what this did to me. It is literally 3 hours of the same sound, the same song. It is awful. But Trump wants to show that the Kennedy Center is for everybody. It's not just for the radical nuts who've controlled it for years. And everyone was anticipating. In fact, I heard Ari Fleischer predict that the cast would walk out before doing the show in protest. It didn't happen. They went to the show. Trump's going to lie, and JD will lie and say it was great. I'm sure it was awful, but they had to do it. Here's the reaction when Trump showed up at Kennedy Center. This is amazing. Not what you were expecting. USA chants ring out at the Kennedy Center, the bluest of blue places in D.C. That was great. That was great. That was the highlight. I'm sure that was the highlight for Trump last night at this show. But things have changed, man. The tide has turned. Trump has flipped the script, and we are enjoying the hell out of it. But that will do it for today. Tampon Tim. Oh, he looks nervous. He looks like he's in the debate with JD. He's getting sweaty. He's getting rattled. This is going to be good. We'll have it for you tomorrow. But that will do it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we'll do it again tomorrow.
And what crime has he committed that would warrant his arrest? What crime has Governor Newsom committed?
A crime has he committed?
Yeah, to warrant his arrest, as you had suggested earlier.
I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job